We are the Columbus Chew. This is our Week 7 matchup versus TTM Jolt and the Kansas City Jirachiefs. We wish TTM Jolt a GG. Good luck, have fun. We will lead with Scarf Blaziken, and he will lead with his Aerodactyl. Scarf Blaziken will outspeed 100% of the time unless he is running a Scarf Aerodactyl, which doesn't make much sense for his team. Not sure whether he would stay in at this point. We decide to baton pass out. We see that he decides to stay in and go into Corruption. The defensive spread can take any 2 hits from this as long as it is not a banded Stone Edge. Gunner's going to go for Earthquake, and Corruption is going to laugh at the low amounts of damage that does. That rustled P2's Jirachiefs, but it liked it. P2 is going to discharge and try and get some of that yellow magic working early in the match. Unfortunately, that won't happen, but it does just less than 50%. Aerodactyl will be forced to switch out at this point, and Gardevoir will be brought in. Having Trace, it traces P2's Traced Unnerve, and now no one is able to eat berries as they are nervous and unable to binge eat. However, Gardevoir will be able to eat its leftovers because Mama loves her next day lasagna. Now Gardevoir will go for Toxic, getting off the Toxic on P2, which will greatly decrease its ability to play long game Stall Wars. P2 will go for the Shadow Ball to see how much damage it can get off, and it does about 20%. It is not worth staying in, playing the leftovers game while taking toxic damage. Corruption is forced to switch out here, and Coach Z will switch out Ruin, the Celebi. Even if he were to go for double toxic here, it will not affect the Celebi, as Celebi has natural cure and can switch out, shrugging off that possibility. On the switch, Gardevoir, after eating its delicious next day lasagna, goes for the Calm Mind. This is the area Coach Z doesn't want to be in, so he also goes for a Toxic of his own, making it so this thing has a timer on it. Moonblast goes off, and at only +1 special attack, that does a ballpark of 40 to 50% damage, which is not something Coach Z wants Ruin to be taking. The after turn effects go off. Styx is switched out as the toxic damage starts to accrue, and Brawlic comes out, the Celesteela. Ruin goes for the Leech Seed, which is an excellent thing to have on the Celesteela, as it will hinder it from being able to just sit and wall things. The HP coming off of this will be very nice for healing up Celebi. Along with the leftovers, Celebi gets back about 25% of its health. Brawlic is switched out, and Trev CL, the Hydreigon, is switched in. Thinking this was the case, Coach Z opts to sub up on the switch. Hydreigon will go for a U-turn, which will be 4 times effective and take out the substitute. Carney Hobo is going to come out here, which is a wonderful nickname for a Venusaur, but Coach Z opts to go for the Leech Seed, which does not affect the Venusaur. Ruin is going to switch out here, and Corruption will be brought back. Venusaur most likely going for a Sludge Bomb. Corruption being switched out. First, we'll get to trace the Chlorophyll, which will have no benefit whatsoever for this matchup, and Hydreigon is double switched back in. Hydreigon is just going to go for a U-turn. Again, not doing very much to the very physically bulky Porygon 2. And Venusaur is switched right back out. Thinking this would be the case, or knowing it could take any one shot at the range it was from that Hydreigon, barring a band or specs, Coach Z opts to go for the recover, getting P2 back some health. Venusaur is going to Mega Up, go for the Sludge Bomb, which does negligible damage to the Porygon 2. The Psychic does about 30% damage. Unfortunately, due to Toxic, this is an overall losing battle for Porygon 2, but it will stay in and just Psychic to try and keep this Venusaur at a very revengeable range for whatever comes in next. Now, believing a Synthesis is about to come out, Coach Z, as stated before, just leaves P2 in. This Toxic has greatly reduced its ability to play long game Pokemon, and it stays in just to keep Venusaur at about 50% health. P2 will go down to the Toxic this turn, and Ruin will be brought back out here. Ruin chasing out the Venusaur with the possible Psychic attack. Styx comes back out, tracing the natural cure from Celebi, which is unfortunate because that will make it able to switch out and get rid of its status. So long leftover abilities, Mega Gardevoir sharing that Mama Lasagna all over the place. Styx is switched out, again removing its Toxic status, and Ruin is just going to set up a Leech Seed again, not seeing the Venusaur to be switched in this turn. After turn effects, Leech Seed and leftovers, and Ruin again is going to get quite a bit of health back, putting it well above 50%. Now Ruin is switched out here, even though it could have been Pursuit trapped at that point, but believing that the U-turn was just incoming, Coach Z brings out Blaziken, who he believes at this point outspeeds everything on the Jirachiefs team. Aerodactyl is switched out at this point, being just above 50% health. Gunner is going to be switched out. Styx will be sent in. And Coach Z opts to go just for the safe baton pass again, not thinking that Jolt would want to leave the possibility open for a high jump kick to take down Mega Aerodactyl at that point. Sneasel is sent out, and at this range goes for Pursuit, but unfortunately Mega Gardevoir was not even thinking about switching out at that point. The Pursuit does a crit and still does less than 50% damage. And Mega Gardevoir, Gardevoir gets a KO on the Sneasel. Dirge is going to be sent out at this point. The Mega Gardevoir, the lady in the black dress singing a funeral dirge. Mega Gardevoir is going to Mega Up this turn, and we are going to go for a Moon Blast of our own. Now, Moonblast opted this week in the off chance that a Throat Chop could come in. And the Gardevoir will fall to the Mega Gardevoir. Brawlic is going to be switched out here. And not having a very safe play at this point, Mega Gardevoir opts to go for the Thunderbolt, which does about 50% damage, and we see Automize on the Celesteela, which gives it +2 speed, which is ultimately a Rock Polish and or Agility. And at this point, we don't have anything that will outspeed it, and that is very unfortunate. Heavy Slam is going to come out, which will be more than enough to take out Mega Gardevoir, who has paper-thin physical defense. Mega Gardevoir will go down, and there's no priority left on the team. So Celesteela getting the Beast Boost, the special attack raise, and leftovers at +2 speed and +1 special attack is just going to roll through the rest of the team. At +2, Celesteela will outpace Scarf Gardevoir. With the Air Slash at +1 and Stab, this kills 100% of the time. And Purge goes down to the Celesteela. Celesteela is sitting pretty at this point. Now at +2/+2, we'll have no problem running through the rest of the Columbus Chew lineup. Arbiter comes out. Probably should have been the immediate response. Maybe being able to live a +1 Giga Drain, well, would have been able to live it better. The Giga Drain puts Brawlic at an unrevengeable range. The Z move, Hydro Vortex, is revealed, but unfortunately, it will be unable to revenge kill the Celesteela. The Beautiful Dance and a Hydraulic Charge is not enough to take down Celesteela. Had Coach C sent this out, it would have negated 2 turns of leftovers, and at that possibly would have been able to take out the Celesteela. A misplay. Looking back on it, that is exactly what should have been done. Manaphy should have been the first thing brought back out, and it may have been able to stop the sweep. Very unlikely, but would have put the Columbus Chew in a much better position. Ruin is going to come out here, not being able to take a +3 Air Slash, will go down, and the last member of the Columbus Chew will fall to the Celesteela. The Columbus Chew remain winless at Week 7 of Season 8 of the GBA. We are the Columbus Chew, and we remain valiant in our efforts to uncover the corruption of the GBA. The season is drawing to an end, as is our campaign to expose the evil and villainy that remains underneath the surface.